Good morning, my name is Alan Moody from Haulmore Trailer Sales in Western Australia. The time is 11:35 on Thursday, beautiful sunny day in downtown Perth, as you can see. Just introducing one of our products that we build a lot of, very popular. It's our Haulmore premium grade side tipper, and I'll just talk you through the construction details and the design features that we like. Firstly, most manufacturers put a 5-inch ramp for tipping. We put a 6-inch because the 5-inch will tip a legal load, but it won't tip an illegal load, so we put a bit more capacity. The next thing we like to do with our bodies is have very good floor support. So you'll see that the floor has 4 longitudinal beams in it, and as well as that, the floor is supported on the top of the chassis, as well as on the cross members here on the outside. And the 4 beams you see there on the inside are supported on the cross members of the subframe. So you've got to try pretty hard to do some damage to this particular design of trailer. The whole unit is designed out of Swedish high tensile steel grade 450, expensive steel but very durable. As we go around this unit, all of the units we do for West Australia are road trained, of course, with high and low pressure hydraulics and ring feeder. EBS braking is standard, of course, now. LED lighting with wiring and conduit. We fit any suspension, any axles, but this particular unit has FUA parallel bearing drum brake axles, 10 stud 285. It has a FUA 9-leaf suspension, which is 2.7 spread, which suits our road train applications over here. You'll find the hydraulics on these are fitted to the outside with a manual control valve. That's so that if you do have a hydraulic problem, it's easy access. This particular unit has a water tanker, by customers' request, 2-speed landing legs. We also go to a bit more trouble. We put 2 kingpin locations in the skid plate. The reason for that is to suit 6x4 prime mover and tandem dolly, or to go for a tri-dolly, which means the kingpin goes back underneath a bit so you get correct weight distribution. As I said, these units here, we've had them in our rental fleet for 20 years. The design is well proven and absolutely bulletproof. Every part of this unit is grade 450 Swedish high tensile steel, and the longitudinal main beams you can see are also 4mm RHS tube high tensile. So very shortly we'll get the truck to drop the body down, and I'll show you the design features of the door and the door hinge. And among the other features of this body is the clean flowing discharge of the bin, as you can see. Piano hinge, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. High tensile body, easy discharge. This particular unit has a crank operated sand tarp on it, and it's about as good as we can do. We find some people put a big tube across the top of the body. That is good until the machine hits it, and also the rocks are impeded in coming out, as is any storm damaged trees, etc. So this unit here is a crank operated. We can do air operated or electric, and should you damage the cables, well, they're easy to replace, and if you're cutting storm damaged trees, you disconnect the cables on the right hand side, then you can tip all your trees and whatnot without any damage. So very shortly we'll lower the body down and close the door, show you the strength and the design of the door, which is the most significant part of the body and the easiest, the most important part that gets damaged first. So we'll drop the body very shortly. Okay, the first part of any side tipper body that gets some impact or some damage is obviously the door. You'll notice that the door on this is unbelievably robust. It's pressed up out of 6mm grade 450 high tensile steel. It's 150mm deep. It has 2 ribs on it. Even the bottom section is also pressed out of high tensile. So unless you hit this with a D9, you're not going to hurt the door. The other thing that we do also is we do the hinge. The door hinge is a piano hinge, and we find that we've tried every type of hinge on trailers over the last 20 or 30 years. We find this the most suitable. And we do it under double shear. So this is on the door, that's on the door, and this piece is on the body. And the reason for that is so that quite often as all the load comes out, it's particularly hard work, the door quite often cracks through here. Well, we put it under double shear, which eliminates that problem. The hinges are also under double shear with grease nipples, and they're also stress relief, so as the chassis flexes, the body is independent and there's some room for movement. So all in all, a very robust body, and we've had them in the rental fleet for 20 years doing a good job.